To look at Maddie Kingsbury's life, you saw a woman ascending. She was 26 years old, a clinical researcher at the prestigious Mayo Clinic, a loving mother to a 5-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. She was in graduate school, eyeing a promotion. But when the sun rose on March 31, 2023, the facade of the perfect family shattered. At 8:03 a.m., a doorbell camera captures the last known image of Maddie alive. She is walking into a daycare center in Winona, Minnesota. She wears a dark turtleneck and a fluffy brown coat. Walking beside her is Adam Fravel, the father of her children, her ex-boyfriend. The daycare provider, Brooke Pulowski, watches them hang up the kids' coats. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. The couple was known to drop the kids off together. But inside Maddie's chest, a clock was ticking down. What the cameras don't show is the war being waged off-screen. Just weeks before, Maddie had finally ended things for good. She was looking for an apartment. She had started seeing someone new. And Adam Fravel, unemployed, financially dependent on her, and enraged, was not letting go. After the daycare drop-off, Adam and Maddie returned to the townhome they still shared on Cary Drive. Then, at 9:44 a.m., surveillance footage catches something strange. A person in a light-colored jacket walks up to Maddie's dark blue minivan. They kneel down. They appear to remove the front license plate. Then, they put it back on. It looks like a test, a dry run, or maybe the destruction of evidence before the crime even begins. By 10 a.m., Maddie Kingsbury has stopped responding to text messages. Her phone, her coat, and her work laptop are left behind in the house. She has vanished. Her sister, Megan, sends a funny photo from a past trip. She gets a LOL back at 8:15 a.m. Then, silence. Nothing. By the evening, friends are frantic. They call the police. When officers arrive, they find Adam Fravel. He has the children. He is calm. Perhaps, investigators think later, too calm. He said, "I don't know if I should be worried or what." That lack of worry bothers the police immediately. Adam tells them a story. He says he took the van for storage runs. He drove to a gas station. He went toward his parents' house near Mabel. But then he turned around. He says when he came home, Maddie's car was still there. He assumes she carpooled to work. But the timeline doesn't work. The cell towers don't lie. Phone data and traffic cams reveal the truth of that morning. 10:02 a.m., the van is seen at a gas station. It is Adam pumping gas. 10:31 a.m., the van is back at the house. 11:26 a.m., the van leaves again, heading south toward the rural countryside. 12:44 p.m., the van is spotted heading back toward Winona. Where was Maddie in that 2-hour time? Investigators look at the house. It is unsettlingly tidy. No sign of a struggle. But in the garage, they find something else.
To understand how a clinical researcher ends up hidden in a ditch, you have to look at the years leading up to the spring of 2023. When investigators dig into the relationship between Maddie and Adam, they don't find love. They find a hostage situation. Friends tell police about a video call in 2020. They heard yelling, then a slap. In a text message recovered by police, Maddie asks Adam to never put his hands on her throat again. "You'll adjust." That is his reply. "You'll adjust." Then, this was the dynamic. Control. Financial stranglehold. Adam didn't have a job. Maddie paid for everything. And when she tried to leave, the threats escalated to the unthinkable. Maddie's sister, Megan, recalls a specific comment Adam made 18 months before the disappearance.
He said, if you don't start listening up, you're going to end up like Gabby Petito.
It is a jaw-dropping reference. Gabby Petito was a young woman strangled by her boyfriend during a cross-country trip in 2021. The case was a media firestorm. When police interrogate Adam Fravel, they bring this up. She said you made a comment to her that if she doesn't listen, she's going to end up like Gabby Petito. He said, I was just trying to make a joke. My biggest fear right now is that this is mimicking that case, and the guy that's infatuated with that case is sitting right in front of me. Adam admits he was infatuated with the Petito case. He watched every detail. He learned how Brian Laundrie failed. Perhaps, prosecutors will later argue, he learned how to do it better. But he couldn't hide his temper. On April 1st, an officer notices something on Adam's face. Scratches. 6 of them. Vertical. Fresh. He said, I have a dog. It's a convenient excuse. But a search of his phone reveals a Google search made on the night Maddie disappeared. Are dog scratches on face dangerous? He wasn't worried about Maddie. He was worried about the scratches she gave him while fighting for her life. For 68 days, the community of Winona refuses to give up. Volunteers comb fields and forests. Maddie's family pleads on national television. Adam Fravel stays silent. He fights for custody of the children, the same children he took from daycare on March 31st. Remember the daycare provider, Brooke Polofsky? She testifies that when Adam picked up the kids that fateful afternoon, the little girl asked the question she always asked. Where's Mommy? Usually, Adam would say, she's at work. But on March 31st, at 4:21 p.m., he looked at his daughter and said, let's go to Grandma's. He didn't say she was at work. He didn't say she was coming. He knew, right then, that she wasn't coming back. The break in the case comes from a neighbor's trail camera. It is Easter Sunday, April 9, 2023. The temperature is 71 degrees. A trail camera snaps a photo of Adam Fravel driving a Polaris Ranger UTV across property he does not own. In the back of the vehicle, clearly visible, is a shovel. When police seize the UTV, they bring in cadaver dogs. The dogs alert on the bed of the UTV. They alert on the shovel. Adam had gone back to check on the body. Maybe to move it. Maybe to cover it better. But he was being watched. Finally, on June 7, 2023, a deputy searches a remote gravel road off Highway 43 near Mabel. It is a low-maintenance road, hidden by thick foliage. Under a pile of branches and brush, the deputy finds her. Maddie Kingsbury is wrapped in a gray fitted bedsheet. The sheet is sealed with black Gorilla Tape. Around her head and neck, a knotted towel. The medical examiner later rules the cause of death: homicidal violence, likely asphyxiation. He tried to bury her. He tried to hide her. But even in death, Maddie Kingsbury refused to be silenced. Adam Fravel is arrested that night. In court, the mask slips further. Prosecutors present a mountain of digital evidence: the wiped phone, the missing SD cards, the burner searches, the financial motive. Maddie was his only source of money. And then, the Gabby Petito text. The defense argues there is no witness to the murder. They say the scratches are from a dog. They say the trash and burned computers found at his parents' house are circumstantial. But the jury sees the photo of the UTV, the shovel, the duct tape matching the roll in the house. They hear the recording of Adam telling the police, "I don't know if I should be worried," while his children's mother lay dead in a ditch. On November 7th, 2024, the jury deliberates for just 9 hours. In a packed Mankato courtroom,
Adam Fravel is found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of second-degree murder. As the verdict is read, he shows emotion for the first time, distraught. But the Kingsbury family does not cheer.
It's a bit of a Pyrrhic victory. We're not going to get Madeline back. Fravel can't be punished enough. Adam Fravel faces life in prison. But for Maddie's mother, Krista Holtgren, the work has just begun. The family establishes the Madeline Kingsbury Foundation, a promise to help other victims of domestic violence escape before the scratches appear on the wall, before the cameras are torn down, before the clock hits 8:15 a.m. on the last day of their lives. Maddie Kingsbury was 26 years old. She was a daughter, a sister, and a mother. She told her friend exactly what would happen. If anything happens to me, know that Adam did it. We knew. And now the world knows.